Hi, babes. It's Brielle from Well with Brielle, and today I'm going to be sharing with you health and wellness benefits of spending time in nature, as well as activities that you can do right now outdoors to boost some of those health and wellness benefits. So, I first want to start by really welcoming you, saying hello, and as always, I like to get to know you. So if you're watching this video, please drop an emoji to let me know that you're watching. Specifically, if you could drop some sort of nature emoji, that would be pretty cool. So if you're watching this video, you're definitely in the right place if you're looking for ways to naturally boost or uplift your mood, if you're looking for ways to connect with nature more and on a deeper level, if you want to maximize your wellness experiences and just your overall quality of life. And I say that because we know that living a healthy lifestyle, it not only extends our years here, but it improves or enhances our quality of life. So we live a better life. And then as well, you're also in the right place if you're looking for ways to naturally reduce feelings of stress and just overall be able to naturally heal yourself or give yourself some of the best self-care. So by the end of this, you will be able to identify outdoor activities that you enjoy already or may want to try. You'll also be able to recognize benefits, health and wellness benefits of spending time in nature and doing some of these wellness activities. Additionally, you'll have another tool in your toolbox for wellness and overall self care. So, in other words, if you like any of these activities that I name or any of the benefits, the health and wellness benefits really appeal to you, you can take note of it or make plans. That would be the best thing to do. You can make plans to try some of this and then eventually fit it into your regular self care routines so that it becomes not just a healthy habit, but also truly a part of your everyday lifestyle. And that's how we get the big bang for our buck, so to speak. It's when we're able to make our health and wellness choices or practices part of our everyday lifestyle. So I just want to tell you a little bit about me so that you can understand where I'm coming from and some of my experiences with connecting with nature and just overall with wellness. So I work in public health. I have a master's in public health, specifically health administration. I also have a bachelor's of science in public health, specifically community and behavioral health, and I have different wellness certifications. So I am a certified health educator and I am a registered yoga instructor. So I have a lot of knowledge and practical work experience in the health and wellness field. Additionally, in my own personal life, wellness is a passion to me. And so I want to tell you a little bit about my experience, especially with nature. So I am Caribbean American. I was born in America, which is where I am now, specifically Maryland. My dad is Caribbean. He's from Antigua, and my mom is American. Her family is very Southern. So I grew up in Maryland. We would take family trips. We would go to Antigua, where I really got to appreciate the nature there. My dad would take my sister and I out to the beaches very often. Okay, so now we're back. So I was saying, going to Antigua, we would often go out to the beaches, and when we went, my dad would take us into the deep end. Like, obviously, it's not a pool or anything, but we would be really deep, immersed in water. Can't touch the bottom. And I have a great appreciation for that because not only was I able to swim from an early on age, but I also love water. I love being immersed in water. It's a good way to practice grounding. And For me, it was just a positive experience. I never had a fear of water. I still don't have a fear of water. Um, and again, I'm just sharing this so you guys can understand what my experiences have been. So I also mentioned that I am American. I'm from Maryland. And so being from Maryland, I'm specifically from Annapolis. Um, we have the DMV. So we have DC, Maryland, and Virginia, meaning that I can get to DC, I can get to Virginia, and it doesn't take a lot of time at all for me to get there. So in DC, Maryland, Virginia, we have a lot of options for entertainment. There are a lot of things that you can do. There are a lot of ways to spend your money and get entertainment. So you can, of course, go to the movies, you can go to different malls, we have clubs, we have different museums, we have parks, we have like just different attractions that you can go to here in not just Maryland, where I'm from, but also DC and Virginia. And I say that because I grew up doing those things, having those experiences. So going to different museums and learning different things, going to attractions and being entertained, you know, and spending time with my family, going on family vacations to ski resorts, and just just having those experiences. And in contrast, you know, years later as an adult, I eventually moved away from Maryland and went to graduate school in Arkansas. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about what my experience was like in Arkansas. We can do that another time if you guys want, just let me know. But Arkansas is very different from the DMV. It's very different from Maryland. It's very different from Annapolis. It's very different from Antigua. It's just different. So in Arkansas, being there and still being very young, I'm in my 20s now. I was in my earlier 20s then, and I was getting my master's degree, and there was not the same options of things that you would do. So I mentioned that in the DMV in Maryland, you might go to a museum, you might do brunch, we have clubs. In Arkansas, I mean, of course they have museums, they have a lot of outdoor parks, but they do not have the same attractions or options for entertainment. There aren't clubs or anything. There's restaurants that maybe, you know, would turn into kind of a nightlife scene after hours, but just not the same experience at all. There's not a lot of malls, a lot of shopping options. Instead, there were a lot of outdoor activities. So, notably to me, when I was in grad school, people were going to float the river, which means they were basically on a river, floating on it, like on some sort of device and floating down the river. Or people did a lot of hiking. And I mean, of course, there's other things people did, but I'm just trying to paint the scene of it's a lot more outdoorsy than Maryland. And then even just my experiences in Antigua, like I wasn't hiking in Antigua. I mean, we went to the beach and stuff, but I wasn't floating the river anywhere. Like it's just totally different. And so I say all this to say that we all are going to have our different lens, right? We're going to have our different perspective and our different experiences that we can bring to the table when it comes to our wellness and self-care. So when I got to Arkansas, I don't think I had ever really been hiking. You know, we would go to outdoor parks and things in Maryland. We might go for a walk around our neighborhood, you know, maybe go work out somewhere. But it wasn't like we would go to the woods and go hiking. So that was where I had one of my first experiences with hiking. And I was pleasantly surprised because I actually enjoyed it. So I was really enjoying hiking, and just backing up a little bit, before grad school and after college, because I mentioned to you guys I have a bachelor's of science in public health and then I have my master's in public health. So the time between getting those two degrees, I also had begun my career in public health and I was creating health and wellness programs at that time. So I already had a lot of knowledge about health and wellness and the different options out there, but I was still early on in my journey, my personal journey of understanding what would be not just ideal for me in my lifestyle, but also what do I enjoy? Because one thing that I really try to drive at Well with Brielle is that you should be choosing things that you enjoy. You should be choosing activities and items that you desire, that you want, that you need. It is all about you and your self care. So we can talk about the different wellness activities. We can talk about their different benefits based on what you need in that moment. But you should really be trying those activities out and figuring out what is going to truly serve you. So at this time, hiking had never crossed my mind. Of course, I knew the benefits of working out. I knew the benefits of being outdoors in nature. But to truly experience them the way I did in grad school, going hiking was a game changer. So I'm not going to go on and on about that experience, but it was really beautiful. If you follow me on Instagram at Well with Brielle, I actually have photos that I've posted from my days in grad school going on that hike because it was a place that I would frequent often. So there was a mountain out there. I would go probably almost every week, and I would climb it. It was a place where I could, when I got to the top, have my own little self-care routine of meditating, journaling, even just the idea of maybe taking a nice selfie or gazing out at the water because there was this huge body of water that the mountain was on. It was just amazing. And I think that was kind of my initial doses of bonding with nature. So I mentioned that Well with Brielle is all about finding what works for you based on your lens, based on your needs, based on your desires. And so what I'm saying is that the mission at Well with Brielle is to help you learn how to naturally boost your mood via wellness and self-care, giving you the tools, giving you the options so that you have the understanding to get those experiences and then figure out what works best for you. And then, of course, we talk about ways to build that schedule, ways to build that self care routine, ways to maximize your time so that you're actually able to fit in these different wellness activities. So I've already kind of given you a timeline of when I've started. I mean, just growing up, going through high school, middle school, I've always had an affinity towards health in some capacity, whether it was biology, later discovering public health, which again, totally different video, but we could talk about the difference between medicine and public health, or the difference between health and wellness, or the intersection of them. But just always being interested in that general field and doing different things throughout my life to help me develop the knowledge, the skills, the resources to really be someone that's able to speak on the benefits and provide that resource to others. So making it part of my work and not just part of my private lifestyle. While I was going through my journey personally to develop my own self care routines and figure out what would work well for me in terms of wellness, some of the struggles I really faced was initially finding things that I enjoyed. So when I was much younger, maybe middle school or so, high school, I don't know, just for as long as I can remember, I've always cared about how I looked. I've always wanted to feel good, look good, really show up as my best, even in academics. So I remember really struggling with figuring out things that I enjoyed in terms of exercise in particular. So finding things that I enjoyed was a struggle. I overcame that struggle by really identifying the different options out there and then trying them out to see what, one, got me the results that I needed, and two, would actually work for my lifestyle and, resulted in me feeling joy after them and not feeling like it was something that I was forcing myself to do. The other struggle that I really faced was finding time to do it. So right now we're specifically talking about connecting with nature. And in terms of connecting with nature, I'm young, I'm a single Black female, and the idea of going out in nature by myself really isn't safe depending on the circumstances. So finding time and the appropriate places, the appropriate opportunities to be able to do activities in nature that I would enjoy, that would be safe at the moment, was a struggle. And I'll just tell you, it did mean sometimes doing it with loved ones, friends, and other people. Not always, because it really just depended on the activity and the environment, but often it did. Because nature, can be isolating in a way, which is part of the benefits. You get a chance to really connect with it and be at peace. So those are some of the struggles I faced. So really finding out what it is that I would enjoy, not just doing things because I knew it was healthy. And then also just finding the time to do it and finding the opportunities to do it so that it was a regular part of my lifestyle. I decided to get into this health and wellness business because, as I mentioned, it's always been a passion of mine and something that I've been interested naturally for myself. And so I've just naturally had an affinity to doing the research, to understanding the science behind it, and then making it applicable to my life. So working it into my lifestyle, making sure that it is a habit, a regular habit. Um, and so for me, being able to share that is an extra bonus. I'm very grateful that it is something that I'm able to do in my life and then also in my work as well. I know that through health and wellness, I have a better understanding of my life. I am a better person. I'm a better Brielle when I'm able to create balance in my life and when I'm able to pour into myself through my different self-care routines and wellness practices. I'm also more present, I have more patience, I have just so much more to give, not only to others but also to myself, when I've taken the time out to fulfill those wellness practices and complete those self-care routines. One thing that was really vital to my success, especially with connecting with nature, was to find those activities that I enjoyed. So, what we're about to talk about now are some of the benefits of spending time in nature, and then I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys some of the activities that you can do while you're spending time in nature. And you all, it can really be small things. So for me, some small things that I did, and this is just kind of a preview, if you will, is I went to new local parks. So now that I'm back in Maryland, I'm not in grad school in the South anymore. I took the time to download different apps and to find local parks in my area. It can be big things like moving away, like when I went and moved to Arkansas. It can be big things like planning trips or vacations in new locations or locations that you've even been to, but maybe didn't take the time to spend time there in nature. But today it's just understanding your opportunities, understanding your options, and then from this, you'll be able to take away some ideas on next steps or what you may want to do in order to spend time in nature and get those health and wellness benefits. So let's first talk about the benefits. Spending time in nature can actually have a number of benefits for your wellness. And when I talk about wellness, I am talking about those different dimensions. So nature can benefit your physical wellness, it can benefit your mental wellness, and it can also benefit your emotional well-being too. So for me personally, I believe that those psychological or emotional and mental benefits are, to me, some of the best benefits of nature. But of course, they're all wonderful. And we're going to talk about a variety of them. The first benefit that I want to name is the fact that it is possible to, when you're spending time in nature, to enhance your mood and also just increase your energy. So if you've ever been in a terrible mood, maybe didn't feel well, and you've gone out in nature and you've felt happier, more positive, or even if you just were already in a rather pleasant mood and have gone out in nature and felt that boost of energy or felt that that uplift in your mood, then you are experiencing that connection to nature. I know also the way that I like to use this is if I ever feel like I'm in a funk, or my mood isn't, top notch, I like to go for a walk outdoors, or even just sit outdoors, and just soak in the nature or soak in the outdoor surroundings. So you can do this anywhere. You can go and sit out on your porch. You can go for a walk around your neighborhood if it's safe to do that. You can even just go to a local park. And I name these different options because depending on how much time you have, depending on your environment, that's going to really help you narrow down your plan of action, so that you can go ahead and reap the benefits. So, also, spending time in nature can improve your sleep quality. So, anyone who feels like they're having trouble falling asleep at night, or staying asleep, even if you feel like it's sometimes really hard to have a regular sleeping schedule or a sleeping pattern, you can experience a huge improvement in your sleep quality if you regularly go out and spend time in nature. So, spending time in nature can also be a wellness strategy for reducing feelings of stress and anxiety. One activity that I really love to do when I'm out in nature, especially, is my meditations. I love to meditate outdoors. And if you guys have actually seen any of my guided meditations on YouTube, then you know this because a number of them have been recorded with the sounds of nature, because of those healing benefits. So you don't have to meditate when you're outdoors in order to reap the benefits of reduced feelings of stress and anxiety, but it's definitely one of those activities that you can do to really boost the benefits. Now, if you're new to meditation, or you're not someone who likes to meditate, which definitely used to be me years ago, I was planning health and wellness programs, hiring yoga instructors, hiring personal trainers, meditation teachers. I knew the benefits of all these things, but meditation in particular was not something that I enjoyed doing. It was not something that I felt like I was experiencing benefits from. So if you are that person who isn't really into meditation for whatever reason, then I would say try to connect with your breath. Use that as a form of meditation. So what you can do is when you're outside, you can get comfortable. I'm just gonna do that for you guys here. So you can get comfortable. And whenever you're comfortable, you can just go ahead and close your eyes or slowly start to lower your gaze. And just get quiet and notice your breath. So, noticing your breath, not to speed it up or to slow it down, but to just notice it, to notice the rise and fall of your chest, maybe recognizing the pace of your breath. But spending these moments really feeling your breath and connecting with it. And just doing that, even just for a moment, that's a form of meditation. It's a form of being more present and aware. And it's even a mindfulness technique. So that would be my tip. Connect with your breath if you're not someone who meditates but wants to do something along the lines of meditation. Another benefit of spending time in nature, another benefit of spending time in nature is the fact that it helps reduce negative feelings like anger. So we talked about naturally boosting your mood via wellness. And part of boosting your mood is to also take away some of those negative feelings. So spending time in nature can reduce your feelings of anger, in turn making more space and availability for feelings of happiness and positivity and joy. Uh, an activity that I would really recommend to accompany this, if you're looking to really reduce your feelings of anger, would be gratitude. So, gratitude is scientifically proven to reduce negative feelings like anger and jealousy, while increasing feelings of happiness, understanding. So practice gratitude. You can write things that you're grateful for. You can look around you. I would take this time to really look around you, notice what you see, and just express gratitude for all of the nature around you. Another benefit of spending time with nature is the fact that it improves your ability to focus. So if you're in nature, spending time being present and aware, maybe practicing some mindfulness techniques, taking a mindful walk, or even just connecting with your breath, or watching a butterfly as it flies from flower to flower, you are going to be a bit more present. You're going to be a bit more focused than when you previously were maybe at home or elsewhere and not immersed in nature. The other reason why this really improves your ability to focus is because we're giving our body, and especially our eyes, a rest from technology. So if you're anything like me, you're in front of a computer all the time. You're in front of a computer for work. You might even, if you're like me, come home and get in front of a computer. And not just computers. If you have your cell phone or your iPad or just any of those devices and you're on them a lot, taking some time away to rest your eyes and rest some of those other functions of your body gives you a break, and it really improves your ability to focus. Some other benefits of being among nature or spending time in nature is that it also helps to boost your immune system, which we know in turn supports longevity, because we are healthier, and it can help, decrease your risk of chronic diseases. Spending time in nature also reduces muscle tension. So that kind of goes back to what we were talking about when we talked about it reducing feelings of stress and anxiety. Being in nature helps you relax. So reducing that muscle tension, reducing those feelings of stress and anxiety, really supporting you so that you can relax and be at peace. Now let's talk about some more activities. I know I mentioned some before when I was going through the benefits, but let me give you a couple more specific activities that you can try. Now, I would suggest grabbing a pen and a piece of paper and writing these down. And if you're watching this, what I want you to do is, if an activity resonates with you or is something that you've tried, something you want to try, just go ahead and just drop a little note, drop a comment, and let me know what that activity is, because I would love to talk about it with you. So the first activity is earthing or grounding yourself. So taking your shoes off, putting your feet on the bare ground of Mother Earth, maybe even laying down on the ground in Shavasana. So having your arms and legs spread open as you connect with Earth. You can also do this by immersing yourself in water. So when I talked about spending time with my father and his family in Antigua, going to the beaches, being immersed in the water, that was a really great way of grounding myself. Of course, I didn't know it at that time as a small child, but I'm saying these are practical ways that we can spend time with Mother Nature and really boost our health and wellness at the same time. Another activity that you can do is a walk or a hike. So if you follow me on Instagram at Well with Brielle, or you're on my email list, then you know that I love wellness walks. I love hiking. I love taking those nature walks. We've actually had some Well with Brielle events where we've gone on some guided hikes, and during the hikes, we've done little mindfulness exercises and activities. We've stopped and taken time to journal while surrounded by nature. So wellness walks or hikes are things that I believe that you can do in pretty much anywhere you are. Of course, you want to be in a safe environment. If you're in your neighborhood, you want to make sure that you feel safe, and that preferably you can walk on sidewalks or a path or something, not in the way of motor vehicles. And if you choose to go to like a national park or somewhere that's truly outdoorsy, you just want to make sure, this is mostly platform of ladies, that we are safe and that we're usually going with other people, either in a group or at least with 1 to 2 other individuals. So I really love wellness walks. I love them because they're a fun activity to do with others. They're an easy way to get exercise, so to really boost that physical wellness. And we talked about some of the emotional and mental benefits of the fact that walking around and spending time in nature, it is going to reduce your feelings of stress and anxiety, and it's going to naturally boost your mood. So taking a walk, like I said, around your neighborhood or venturing out to parks. And if you find that you do enjoy hiking, it can be so exciting to go to other states, other countries, and explore, the land there. Because I'll tell you, hiking in Maryland looks different than hiking in Colorado, which I've done, and it looks way different than hiking in Arkansas, which I've also done. So it all looks different. It's all a different experience, and it's all so beautiful and enriching. The other activity that I want to mention today is meditating, which I've kind of mentioned before. But if you're out in nature, you can sit and just meditate or lay down and meditate. If you do already meditate or you're new to meditation and you want to do something beyond connecting with your breath, I would recommend using a guided meditation. So on YouTube, Well with Brielle actually has guided meditations that you can play on your phone or on a device. So bringing that device with you, sitting out in nature and playing the guided meditation is going to be a great way to also connect. And I can leave maybe a link below in the description of some meditations that would be perfect for sitting outdoors and meditating. You can also practice mindfulness. So before I mentioned that at Well with Brielle outdoor events, we would do things like take mindful walks. So you can take a mindful walk simply by stopping every now and again, by walking slowly and noticing how it feels to walk on the different terrains. Maybe if you're like on a hike or even just in the neighborhoods, sometimes you do go from even sidewalk to uneven. You can look around and notice the trees, their hues. You can notice the sky and what you see in the sky, but it's just about being present and aware of your senses. So really tapping into all of your senses during your walk will make it more mindful. You can also practice mindful eating. You could take a mindful pause wherever you are. So anywhere in nature, if you decide to maybe do a sports activity outside, you could pause and just be mindful in that moment. And I like to call that a mindful pause. Few other things. Now, I have a lot of activities you can do outdoors. I'll try to kind of keep this short. And if I name any activities that you want more information on, leave me a comment and let me know, because we could have like a whole moment on just talking about these activities on their own. And I get so excited sharing them with you. So I'm going to zoom past some of the examples of ways to meditate or practice mindfulness. But if you're curious about what the other ones are, again, leave a comment, let me know. So in addition to meditating, you can also take photos. So the reason why this is great is, yes, we live in a social media age where we enjoy sharing our moments and what we're doing, but it's also great for you personally. It is really nice to be able to look back and see some of your experiences that you had. And in this case, if you're spending time out in nature, you can get a really beautiful, gorgeous, scenic shot of nature that you're able to later share or put in spaces around your home or workspaces. And that can be a way of not just connecting with nature in that moment, but also creating a connection for once you leave, and you're maybe in your office or somewhere, and you can look at that photo and in your mind's eye go back to that moment, and just connect mentally, maybe just meditate on it. So I like the idea of taking photos. It's also a really fun activity. It's a great way to capture some memories. We talked about walking and the benefits physically. So I do want to mention things like exercise and yoga. Exercise and yoga help you reduce feelings of stress and anxiety. Both of them also help you reduce your risk of cardiovascular diseases and other chronic diseases. And yoga, in particularly, will help you really connect and can be a form of meditation and a form of increasing your strength and your balance. You guys know I am a registered yoga teacher, so I could once again go on and on about the benefits of yoga. And I'll tell you, this is a great example. And I kind of mentioned this before, but I love yoga now. But years ago, I did not love yoga. I knew the benefits of yoga. I had tried yoga. I could definitely tell that it was a workout. But in terms of it being my go to exercise or my go to wellness practice for my mental health or otherwise, it just wasn't at all. So, what really shifted that for me was the fact that I took the time to explore it. Um, and that's like a whole nother story too. But I even had things like retreats that I went on that they would have yoga and I wouldn't shy away from it. I would just have the experience. So my point is you want to keep an open mind. You want to try some of these activities and you'll know if it's something that you might even have a little interest in. And hiking was the same thing too. I did not know until I tried it. So just be open, try things once. If you try it once years later, try it again. You know, we change, we're dynamic. And that's why at Well With Real, it's all about getting what you need and choosing what you desire and want from your lens and your perspective. Okay, so you can also read books outside in nature. I mean, while you're sitting out in nature, you're hearing the birds chirp, you're maybe hearing some insects depending on where you are, or if it's like maybe summer. And so being immersed in nature and reading a book and allowing your mind to travel, you're boosting your intellectual wellness and you're boosting your emotional and the mental wellness too. You can write or journal while you're out in nature. So I love the serenity and the peace that being out in nature brings. It's a good time for me to go and write. I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but a huge benefit that I absolutely love about being immersed in nature is the fact that it does boost your creative thinking. So this could be a great time to write either creatively or to just reflect or work on goals that you have around writing or journaling. So, not to confuse the two, but I'm saying that while this isn't about work, you could potentially take work outside and find that it has boosted your creative thinking, or you can do some more therapeutic activities like writing or journaling. You could also paint or draw. So, studies have shown that adults drawing in adult coloring books and doing things like drawing or painting, they experience a reduction in their feelings of stress, their feelings of anxiety. Um, and it can just be a very soothing and relaxing activity for your brain and really stimulate that creative side of your thinking. Few more activities and then we're wrapping up. So you can also play games, and this is more of a fun social kind of wellness activity. But you can take games to the park, you can find opportunities to play games out there, and you can even organize a few sports games, which will combine that physical wellness component with that social wellness to really give you that boost. Lastly, I have on here that you can have a picnic. Of course, I'm going to tell you that if you have a picnic, make it a healthy one by adding plant-based foods like nuts, vegetables, and fruits. But in addition to having that picnic, uh, just enjoy nature. So while you're out in nature, do something that feels good to you and helps you enjoy it. Now, I'm curious. I've given you guys a lot of different activities you can do, and I want to know what has been your favorite activity so far? What is your favorite way to connect with nature? Leave a comment. Let me know. Let's chat about it. You guys might give me some new ideas, and we may even have some details and some recommendations to share, which is always really cool. So, if you've enjoyed this and you found it really helpful, I actually have some resources for you that will help you take the next step. So if you're wondering, well, this sounds really good, but Brielle, how can I get started on really identifying those activities? Maybe you wrote down a few, but you know that nature is not the whole picture. That it's going to be a great way to get started, a great way to boost your mood, a great way to pour into yourself, but you're looking for other activities too. Maybe you're looking for some work life balance. Maybe you're looking for some activities you can do at home. Maybe you're putting together your entire self care routine and you just don't even know where to start or how to get started holistically in putting that big picture together. If that is the case and you're looking for ways to boost your mood via self care, if you're looking for ways to build a self care routine that allows you to pour into yourself regularly and to daily get the things that you need and desire, then you can go ahead and click the link. I'll leave it in the description, but click the link to join the self care course. So I have a course called the Holistic Self Care Course. And this is where I'm sharing with you strategies to not only help you identify different components of your wellness so that you can create so that you can create a total holistic picture of health and wellness. But after we've identified those activities, I'm also helping you go through the strategies that you need to build a solid health and wellness routine or self-care routine that allows you to fit it into your schedule. So I know many of us are very busy. We feel like there's just not enough time in the day. And so in this self-care course, I'm giving you different tips, different strategies so that you can pinpoint the ones that work well for you and allow you to fit in self care regularly. I'm also giving you self care resources. So, in this self care course, you'll also get access to special guided meditations, a special workbook, and journal prompts, as well as writing activities that are going to really give you a chance to dive deep and create a plan that helps you fit in self care, show up as your best, and really tap into your higher self. Because we know that when we are tapping to our higher self, that means that we are showing up as the best version of ourselves. We are experiencing life from a lens of happiness, from a lens of joy, and from a lens that is fulfilling because we are getting the most out of our experiences and we are giving the most as well. So that is what I would recommend if you're looking for the next step is to enroll in that holistic self-care course. It is a self-study course, meaning that once you are enrolled, you will have the opportunity to take your time or go as fast as you want in completing these lessons and understanding how to put together your own self-care routine and really build that lifestyle that you're looking for. What's super exciting, before I forget to mention this, is that as a part of, as a member of the Holistic Self Care course, you'll also gain access to my private group, the Self Care Queens. And the Self Care Queens is a place where we get to talk with other ladies about our favorite self care practices, our favorite wellness activities, our favorite self care products, and we can really ask questions because I'm there every single day talking with you all, answering questions, sharing recommendations, and really understanding what we are doing to improve our health and wellness on a regular basis. What's most exciting about this private group, the Self Care Queens, is the fact that you will have the opportunity to connect with other ladies just like you and make new friends. I created this group because I really wanted it to be a space where we could not only have fun and learn new things and share recommendations, but also a space where we could connect on a deeper level, where we'd be able to talk and just really interface with one another beyond the way that maybe like Instagram or other platforms allows us to do, but just connect in real time. So, if you're looking to join the Holistic Self Care course, if you're looking to be a part of the amazing group, the Self Care Queens, go ahead and click that link below and join today. Get started. To give you all a recap of what you learned today, we talked about the benefits of being in nature. We also talked about different activities that you can do to boost those health and wellness benefits of being in nature. And I went through different ways that you can fit those activities into your current lifestyle. So, different ways to go walking, different ways to meditate, different things to help you plan out your trips. So basically, talking about when you might want to bring a loved one or a friend versus doing these things solo. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but we also talked about ways to make some of these activities shorter versus longer. So when we talked about connecting with your breath, that is an activity that can be done in a matter of moments versus maybe choosing to listen to a longer guided meditation or choosing to do a longer wellness activity, like maybe playing a sports game or something like that with loved ones. So we talked about those different activities. We talked about different locations and how to fit them into your current lifestyle and your current lens. And I now just want you to remember that part of the reason why you are probably watching this is because you want to take action now. And if that is the case, go ahead and drop a heart to let me know that you're planning to try one of these wellness activities, or you're planning to fit more time into your schedule for these wellness activities. Let me just see those hearts. Because what's going to truly be a game changer is when you plan ahead and when you start to prioritize the wellness activities that bring you joy. I just want to share with you all some feedback that I've received from people who have tried some of the things that we talk about in Well with Brielle. So they've tried the different self-care routines, they've tried building a self-care routine, they've tried going out and connecting with nature. And those people have shared things like the fact that they feel like more at peace. They feel like they can start their day and really accomplish anything. And what's also really amazing is I've had someone say that after even just taking a few moments to meditate, they felt as if they had all the time in the world. So the feeling or the experience of suddenly being more present, aware, and even grateful for the time that we do have, or just some of the experiences that people have had. Lastly, I would say that by following this course or by enrolling in this holistic self-care course, you can also have the experience of enhancing your overall lifestyle. So people experience wellness activities and maybe they don't adhere to them. But in this case, people who have gone through and created these self-care routines using some of the strategies that I recommend have said that their overall lifestyle has really changed. So they're now incorporating these wellness activities on a regular basis. They feel happier and they're able to even share it with their friends and family who are now on board to support them in their lifelong wellness journey. And that is truly the key to making it fit in your schedule, making it something that you feel like you have time for is when it becomes a part of your lifestyle naturally. So again, if you're looking to take the next step, go ahead and enroll in the Holistic Self-Care course. The link is going to be in the description of this video. And in this course, you're going to be getting a lot of resources to help you understand the importance of self-care. We'll be going through the dimensions of wellness. So not just talking about physical wellness, but also talking about mental wellness, intellectual wellness, emotional wellness, talking about environmental wellness. So like today we talked about nature and how nature, the environment of nature can boost your mood. I'll also be sharing other tips of ways to boost your health and wellness through your environment, whether you are at work or are at home, or you're maybe traveling. So the idea that you can live a true lifestyle of health and wellness. I mentioned that with the Holistic Self-Care course, you'll also receive access to the private group of Self-Care Queens, where we are sharing recommendations and making new friends and just really bonding over our self-care and wellness experiences. And then lastly, I mentioned that you will learn how to build your self care routines. So, again, Well with Brielle is all about meeting you where you are. So, you will learn how to put together self care routines that work for you. I will give you examples of things that I am doing and just in general, some self care templates to inspire some potential self care routines for yourself. But I'll really be encouraging you and giving you the tools to create your own self care routine because it's important that whatever you're doing works for you, it feels good for you, and it works for your schedule. And it helps you tap into your higher self. So your higher self has it has its own personality, it has its own needs, its own desires, and we want to make sure that we are catering to that so that you can truly be your best. So you get all of that with the holistic self-care course. And of course, so you get all of that with the holistic self-care course, and you will also have access to reach out to me with any questions that come up for you during your experience with the course. Now, if you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. I will definitely be looking at the comments to respond to those questions. In fact, we can have like a little Q&A below. So if you have questions, just drop them below and I'll be sure to check them out. I hope you enjoyed this today and I hope you learned a lot. If you had a favorite health and wellness benefit from spending in time in nature that you wanted to share, or again, if there's a wellness activity or a self-care activity that you plan to try or incorporate more of into your lifestyle after watching this, leave a comment and let me know. I'll see you guys soon.